Hello everyone, welcome to the KZGN News. Today we'll bring you election news, a reminder of what the Council will discuss at Wednesday's City Council meeting, news from China Lake, Caltrans news, today's gas prices, weather, sports, and much more.
From the Rademacher Hills to Bee Mountain and the mighty Sierras, Ridgecrest to Inyokern and China Lake, this is your news for the Indian Wells Valley with the KZGN News crew.
Hello, I'm Tom Whitnick. Thanks for joining us for the news affecting Ridgecrest and the Indian Wells Valley. In election news, there were a couple primaries Tuesday. There was one in Oregon for the Republicans, and then for the Democrats there were primaries in Oregon and Kentucky. Clinton squeaked out a win in Kentucky. In Oregon, Sanders won for the Democrats and Trump won for the Republicans. In Kentucky, Clinton won with 46.8% to Sanders' 46.3%, only a half point between them. In Oregon, Sanders won with 55% to Clinton at 45%. For the Republicans in Oregon, Trump won with 67%, with the remaining votes split between Cruz and Kasich. As it stands now, the delegate count is this. For the Republicans, Trump is at 1,160, leaving him needing only 77 more delegates to win the nomination. For the Democrats, Clinton has 2,291 delegates to Sanders' 1,528 delegates. Clinton needs only 91 more delegates to lock in her nomination. But Sanders is not giving up. Last night, Sanders gave a speech in California taking the Democrat National Committee to task for the way the delegates work. Earlier, Debbie Wasserman Schultz, the head of the DNC, took it to Sanders for challenging the delegate process. She stated, "Those are the rules. Get over it and stop criticizing the process." Sanders believes that if he can win California, he can turn the Democrat convention upside down and turn some superdelegates away from Clinton to him. After the turmoil at Saturday's Democratic caucus in Nevada, it seems that Sanders has become even more defiant and willing to fight all the way to the convention. In interesting TV news, Tuesday evening there was a much-awaited Fox News anchor Megyn Kelly's interview with Donald Trump. They have been mostly at each other since the first question of the first debate last year. In the first debate, Trump got mad at Kelly for her opening question to him on his record with women. In the Tuesday interview, they discussed that question. Trump said that he was mostly mad that the debate opened with such a harshly phrased question. And it didn't stop there with her question. Trump felt that the debate could have been opened with more civility versus attacks. However, he took it that this was going to be a long night with the moderators trying to take him down. Kelly did ask him during Tuesday's interview as to why all the attacks he has had thrown at him, why they haven't worked, and that most of the attacks even have helped him expand his base and defeat his opponents. Trump answered that it must be his message, and the message of an outsider that is willing to stop the wrong direction the country is going. He said America first, and a lot of people agree with him. Megyn also asked him about all his tweeting. She asked if all those tweets are really from him. He said mostly. Trump said if they come out after 7 in the evening, they are usually from him. During the day, sometimes he's too busy to watch the tweets and has someone watching them for him. When someone sees a tweet that he might want to comment on, they bring it to him and he approves what goes out. She also asked him if he has any regrets in things he has said. He said there are a few things he could have said better, but they were important at the time. There were really no questions on the campaign issues, just about Trump and how he operates. Trump commended Kelly for contacting him for this interview. He said that he would not have made the first step, but since she reached out, which she states she did, he decided to take her up on the meeting. Anyway, the interview was only about 15 minutes. It was mostly fair and cordial, with both of them leaving that their battle is over. Now, in local news, here's a reminder. At Wednesday's City Council meeting, there are two things of real interest. They'll be discussing issuing a letter of opposition to Sheriff Youngblood concerning the closure of the Ridgecrest Jail, and they will also be taking more comment from the public on the proposed new Indian casino. So the meeting starts at 6 Wednesday evening. However, these two topics will probably come up about 6:15 or a little after. So you have plenty of time to get down there to provide comments after the news, and I encourage you to do so. I have people asking me about what I think about the casino all day long in my store. I believe the Council has to weigh the pros and cons of the project and make a decision. The project deserves to be treated and considered like any other proposal. There is one common misconception I keep hearing from the people. The people have heard the casino will be Indian land, and it will be sovereign territory, not under the authority of the city. On the surface, that is correct. However, everyone needs to understand that the agreement they are making with the city waives that sovereignty. In writing, they agree to follow all city building and planning codes, the Ridgecrest Municipal Code, to be under the authority of the Ridgecrest Police Department, and under state law as well. So the project will be subject to all the city's building inspections. Anyway, if you have any comments about the jail closing here, or the casino, you still have time to make it down to City Hall. See you there. Now here's news from China Lake. Have you ever wondered what all those engineers do out on the base? This story is submitted by Renee Hatcher of the NOC WD Public Affairs Office. The Naval Air Warfare Center Weapons Division employees showcased some of their most innovative research with nanoparticles, supercapacitors, and fire-resistant polymers at a Naval Innovative Science and Engineering Expo held at the Pentagon in April. Hosted by the Office of the Assistant Secretary of the Navy for Research, Development, and Acquisition, the expo allowed scientists and engineers within the Naval Research and Development Establishment to share their ideas for improving Navy and Marine Corps capabilities. The NICE Expo was a great opportunity for our folks to demonstrate the progress they are making in various areas of research to advance naval technology, said NOC WD Executive Director Joan Johnson. There is a lot of valuable work going on here, and this expo helped enhance the visibility of the technical, hands-on, in-house expertise we have at NOC WD. Dr. Joseph Sang, Dr. Heather Meilemans, and Dr. Paul Goodman represented NOC WD among nearly 50 presentations at the expo. In a meeting with the Assistant Secretary of Navy for Research, Development, and Acquisition, Mr. Sean Stackley, and commented specifically about Dr. Sang, Meilemans, and Goodman and their work, said Scott O'Neill, former NOC WD Executive Director, who is currently serving as a special advisor to Deputy Assistant Secretary of the Navy for Research, Development, and Test and Evaluation, Dr. John Burrow. They all represented NOC WD, NAVAIR, and the Navy research and development community extremely well. Dr. Sang gave an overview of his work on microscale calorimetry measurements of new composite resins. The objective of his basic research is to gain a better understanding of the structure, property relationships of resins, and correlate and predict their thermo-oxidative properties as well as their fire-resistant properties in fiber-reinforced composite structures. So far, good correlations have been obtained in demonstrating this concept using high char yield resins as a barrier ply on carbon fiber laminates. Stackley and the Secretary of the Navy, Ray Mabus, spent some time with Meilemans learning about her work with smart sensors and coatings from fluorescent nanoparticles. Her research focuses on developing nanoparticle substrates to be used for a variety of applications from environmental metal detection to safety coatings. Mr. Stackley was especially interested in the quantum dot nanoparticles, which we have already synthesized and characterized, said Meilemans, who determined that fluorescence changes are detectable by the eye, so there is no need for expensive equipment. These nanoparticles can also be incorporated into polymers for fluorescent coating applications. The expo was a great opportunity to engage with a lot of Department of Defense leaders about our project, she said. I made several good contacts who indicated interest in collaboration and possible funding. Goodman wowed expo attendees with an explanation on how he fabricated carbon electrodes from cow bones. His basic research is dedicated to improving naval power systems by developing new supercapacitor components and designs. Events like this give us a chance to show off our capabilities and also find out what issues are of specific importance to people in charge, Goodman said. O'Neill said an added bonus from the expo was the dialogue between scientists and technologists working at other warfare and systems centers, and NRL. I heard many attendees express excitement about actually getting to see some real work that is being done by the Navy team, he said. They were surprised at the depth and breadth of the work we do in-house. Many did not realize that the Navy has an organic technical workforce outside of NRL. There are potentially very big problems that NOC WD could solve for the warfighter if the sciences prove out and can be matured for operational use. The National Defense Authorization Act enabled the Warfare Centers to generate the investment fund. The success of the program, witnessed by the growth of technical expertise and capabilities, has led to its renewal several times since first implemented. The NICE program is enabling a considerable amount of unique, basic, and applied research going on in-house at NOC WD, especially in the chemical and material science areas, Boyd said. After you get an understanding of what's possible through basic research, then you can begin to envision where it might be applied toward addressing Navy problems. NOC WD is all about funding highly technical, hands-on work activities with the aim of preparing the scientists and engineering workforce of the future. These three examples, while important, are a small sampling of all the great work that is going on at both China Lake and Point Mugu. Navy leadership, both uniformed and civilian, are beginning to see and understand why it is so important to have a resident, strong, in-house technical capability, he said. I'm in the Pentagon more frequently now, and I'm hearing this message more often, and that's good news for NOC WD. That's from Scott O'Neill. In news from Caltrans, we get this story of road repairs on Route 395. The California Department of Transportation will begin Johannesburg resurfacing project on Tuesday, May 17th. The location of the work is on U.S. Highway 395 in Kern County. The work goes from Kern County and San Bernardino County line to the junction of State Route 178. This project will resurface the roadbed with a rubberized hot mix asphalt. Drivers should anticipate daily lane closures along this stretch of Kern County, U.S. Highway 395, Monday through Thursday from 5 a.m. to 8 p.m. Delays could be up to 20 minutes. This project is scheduled to be completed by September. The contractor for this $5 million project is Granite Construction of Bakersfield. For the latest in highway information, please visit Caltrans Quick Map site at quickmap.ca.gov or call our road condition hotline at 1-800-427-ROAD. Caltrans wants to remind everyone of the new law that is intended to protect road workers. For the safety of road workers and other motorists, please be work zone alert and move over where possible. Again, this repair is on Route 395 south to Johannesburg starting Tuesday, May 17th. And in happy news from the Ridgecrest Animal Shelter, we get this report. Are you looking for a new family member, dog, or cat? The Ridgecrest Animal Shelter is a great place to go find that special addition to your family. They keep these animals almost indefinitely until they get adopted out. This month, they're having a special in adoption costs. The special adoption rate for all dogs is only $45. All cats are free right now. With the adoption, you also get a free spay or neuter voucher and microchipping. When you get your new pet neutered or spayed, all you will have to pay is for the service is a $20 copay. This is a huge savings for the owner. The shelter's hours are Thursday through Saturday, 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Again, they have all sorts of wonderful dogs and cats out there just waiting for you to come out and meet. And as always, if anyone has anything they can donate to the shelter to help pay for keeping these pets available for adoption, you can help. They always need blankets and towels for the pens. They take donations of dog and cat food or any other supplies you may have. And of course, cash donations can be made as well. This is a shelter that goes to the greatest lengths to save and place dogs and cats. You can help. For more information, contact the Ridgecrest Animal Shelter. Oh, and they have a Facebook page as well. Just search Ridgecrest Animal Shelter. And hats off to the great shelter staff. You folks are awesome. All the way from the shelter officers, staff, and pack volunteers that help take care of the shelter. And if you'd like to become a volunteer worker, contact the shelter for an application and details. You can volunteer as much or as little as you want, anytime you want. Without the volunteers, we wouldn't have the shelter we have today, said Mary Stage, shelter supervisor. Now in KZGN's continuous effort to provide news and information to Vaspor, here are today's gas prices for Ridgecrest and some surrounding areas. Well, since my last report, local prices have gone up a nickel per gallon. And the other areas we monitor are seeing similar increases. The good news is we still have the lowest prices in all the areas we're monitoring. As of this morning, Ridgecrest is ranging from $2.43 to $3.09 per gallon. Lancaster from $2.69 to $2.99. The LA Valley area $2.57 to $2.79. And the Bishop area $2.77 to $3.09. We have 4 stations at $2.43 per gallon. Tune in Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays for updates. We at KZGN always suggest you shop locally to support our local economy. Remember, when you pay sales tax out of town, you're helping those cities pave their streets instead of here. Now stay with us. After the break, we'll have weather and sports. Thanks for staying with us. Now here's Lane with the weather.
Thank you, Tom. From the National Weather Service, chilly air has settled into the central and eastern U.S. for the early part of the work week. Temperatures are forecast to be 10 to 25 degrees below average across a large area of the Rockies, Plains, Midwest, Great Lakes, and Ohio Valley. Freeze warnings are in effect for parts of the Midwest and Great Lakes. Temperatures across the nation. Carolinas at 68, Georgia at 77, Arkansas at 62, Northern Texas at 52, Arizona at 80, and Los Angeles at 62. And for us locally, tonight, mostly clear with a low around 61, west-southwest wind 5 to 10 miles per hour with gusts as high as 15. Thursday, sunny with a high near 94, west-southwest wind 5 to 15 miles per hour with gusts as high as 35. Thursday night, mostly clear with a low around 59, southwest wind 20 to 25 miles per hour with gusts as high as 40. Friday, sunny with a high near 80, southwest wind 20 to 25 miles per hour with gusts as high as 35. Friday night, mostly clear with a low around 54, southwest wind 20 to 25 miles per hour with gusts as high as 35. Saturday, sunny with a high near 78, southwest wind 15 miles per hour with gusts as high as 20. Saturday night, mostly clear with a low around 54, southwest wind 15 to 20 miles per hour with gusts as high as 30. And Sunday, sunny with a high near 79, west-southwest wind 10 to 15 miles per hour with gusts as high as 20. And that is your forecast for the IWV. Now back to Tom.
Thanks, Lane. And now here's Tom Heck with sports.
And a very pleasant early Wednesday evening to everyone. Let's talk about the NBA. In about 45 minutes, you can turn over and watch Oklahoma City and Golden State, Game 2 of the NBA Western Finals. Oklahoma City came back, played a great fourth quarter. They won Game 1 on Monday night. Game 2 tonight, and then the series will move over to Oklahoma City starting on Friday night, game number 3. They'll play Game 4 Sunday in OKC. Last night, a total lopsided game. Cleveland easily over Toronto, game number 1 of the Eastern Finals, 115-84. I think LeBron James on a mission. Kyrie Irving in that game, 27 points last night. Game number 2 tomorrow night in Cleveland. They'll move on to the other venue on Sunday, which will be over in Toronto, and that game will be a nationally televised 5 o'clock game. All right, former Lakers star Jim McMillan. McMillan was a hero of the 1972 team that won the NBA championship. He played alongside of Jerry West and Wilt Chamberlain. He was part of that 33-game win streak they had back in 72. Well, he passed away yesterday at the age of 68. McMillan actually attended Columbia University, where he was both an academic All-American and NCAA Division I All-American with that. All right, NBA draft last night. The Lakers got the number 2 pick, the 76ers the number 1 pick. Major League Baseball, the Dodgers last night. Clayton Kershaw, maybe he's the best in the world, 5-1 winners over the Halos. Kershaw strikes out 11, he wins his 6th game. Same 2 teams tonight, they'll switch cities though. They'll go to Anaheim for Game 3. They'll play Game number 4 of the series tomorrow night in Anaheim. Then Friday night the Angels will stay home and take on Baltimore. Jock Peterson in that game had 2 stolen home runs for the Dodgers. Also last night in Major League Baseball, Oakland now 2 wins in a row. It's been rare for them this year. They're struggling. They beat Texas 8-5 on consecutive nights. For the Rangers, 2 losses, now 3 losses in a row. Arizona beats the Yankees in interleague play. Houston gets a win over the White Sox. White Sox still the best record in the American League Central. Milwaukee gets a win over the Cubs. Cubs don't lose very much. They have the best record in baseball. 4-2 the score yesterday in Milwaukee. Colorado right now tied with the Dodgers for first place. They beat St. Louis 3-1 in the Mile High City, and Kansas City gets a win over Boston 8-4. Boston has been on fire. Their first loss in their last 7 games. All right, let's talk about the standings real quick. Tomorrow we'll look at the National, today the American. Baltimore and Boston battling it out for the East. Both those teams tied right now. Again, Baltimore here this weekend with the Angels. Chicago 24-16. They lead the Central, their best start in a long time. And Seattle, despite losing 3 games in a row to the Angels, they are tied with the Rangers right now for first place in the American League West. Burroughs High School baseball, the team finishes 5-5 in league, and that's not quite good enough this year to get a playoff. It was a very close conference. In fact, if Burroughs wins their last game of the season, which they lost last week, then they would have been tied, of all things, for first place. 6-4, the top 3 teams. 5-5, the 4th and 5th place team. Burroughs, one of those with Oak Hills, and then Hesperia finished 6th, so no playoffs for the Burroughs this year for baseball. That's your sports. I'm Tom Hick for KZGN.
So that's the news for today. Also, KZGN-TV know you have a choice in what you watch for your news. We all thank you for choosing KZGN-TV, Ridgecrest's only locally owned community TV station. Now stay tuned for Ridgecrest Talk, coming up next.